It's December 23rd and we are 2 days officially away from Christmas. I cannot wait for Christmas. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve. The next day after is Christmas. But let's get into an early Christmas treat because the Heisman race is coming to a close. We are so close to getting this whole Heisman race wrapped up. And I just want to talk about, after this championship weekend, the guys that I want to talk about, the guys that I see as being the leaders for the upcoming Heisman race, and the guys who I actually think are going to win. I'll pick my Heisman again. You guys all know who I'm really pushing for to win this Heisman. Of course, that is Devonte Smith. For this video, an extra special, guys, for you guys watching right now, I will drop my all new shirts in my store right now. Get yours right now. Shirts are only $15. I'm telling you, that's an amazing deal. I tell you, these shirts are amazing quality. I already have a couple of my own. So soft, so comfortable, great quality, great print quality, and the shirts are just, they look amazing. So definitely go get your brand new Heisman shirt in the store right now. I like to call it the Heisman remastered almost. I spent so much time yesterday into designing that thing, and I tell you, I have a lot more interesting and funny and whatever you want college football designs and any sport designs coming up in my store. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. Go get your shirts now. And you know what? Let's throw in another thing. Because it's Christmas, use code Christmas, all caps Christmas, and I'll give you 10% off, an extra 10% for you guys on those shirts, just because how much I appreciate you guys supporting me on this channel. So my three guys, I've already named one of them. You guys know I've been really high on Devonta Smith. I want to see a wide receiver win the Heisman. That's something that I've really been pushing for a while. I love it when non-QB players win the Heisman because it's just more interesting. It's more fun for me, and it's just nice to see something new. Don't get me wrong. I have the Joe Burrow jersey back there. I loved watching him last season. He was an amazing Heisman winner. I think he won by the biggest margin anyone's ever won a Heisman by. Who was it last year's? You've had Kyler, you've had Baker Mayfield, you've had Lamar, you've had Derrick Henry. He was the last non-QB to win a Heisman. So a ton of good winners, good quality players to win the Heisman. But it's been a while since we've seen a wide receiver win the Heisman. And the last one was Desmond Howard, none other than the Desmond Howard, College Game Day host. Love watching him. He does a great job on the show. The other two guys that I want to talk about are two quarterbacks, of course. And that's going to be, there's really three to choose from. But after this week, I think one has taken a step back. One's got eliminated, and I just don't see him, honestly, becoming the Heisman anymore. Even though a couple weeks ago I said this guy was going to be my Heisman pick, I have him falling out. So the two other guys I want to talk about today, so we got Devonta Smith, we got Mac Jones, quarterback Alabama, and then sadly we have Trevor Lawrence, quarterback out of Clemson. Even though I hate Clemson because I'm a huge Gamecocks fan, you see, I have to put some respect on Trevor Lawrence's name and put him in this Heisman race because he is deserving of being in this spot. So let's get into it. Let's start off with the guy named Devonta Smith. Let's see how he's done this season. Let's see all of his stats. 98 receptions, 1,511 yards, 17 touchdowns. That's all receiving touchdowns. He has another one on the ground, and he has another in the punt return game. I'm pretty sure he returned that one against Arkansas a couple weeks ago. And then he's caught for 15.4 average this season. Devonta Smith has been a huge rock for Alabama ever since he stepped on the field. Obviously, he catches the national championship winning catch against Georgia in 2017, or that game would have been played in 2018, but it was officially the 2017 season. After that, he's just been a guy, especially in a lineup where in that year in 2017, the guys that he had on that roster, you had Jerry Jeudy, you had Calvin Ridley, you had Henry Ruggs, you had Devonta Smith, and you had Jalen Waddle, and this guy is still able to produce. Like, that lineup is absolutely stacked. I know the year after that, you lose Ridley, and you still got those four guys. Like, obviously, Devonta is included in the, but putting up stats as good as Devonta has and being as good of a receiver as Devonta has been with guys like Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, and Jalen Waddle all on the same roster as you is really, really impressive. Yes, Jeudy is now on the Broncos. Ruggs is now on the Raiders, so they've gone off to the NFL. But Waddle and Devonta decided to stay back for another season. So Devonta made an amazing move because he's made himself quite a lot of money in this move. I think that his draft stock has gone way up just from making the call to stay with Alabama another year. He's going to make a lot of money in the NFL draft this upcoming year. Devonta Smith, he's just such a deep ball threat, such a nice route runner. He has the stats to be able to put up for the Heisman. Like, he's caught over 1,500 yards, guys, and this isn't a shortened season. He's caught multiple touchdowns. Like, he's almost caught at least half of Mac Jones's total touchdowns. He's he's at like 40%, something like that. So this guy is the majority of scoring for the Alabama Crimson Tide in the passing game. Obviously, they have a huge threat in the backfield who, if Najee Harris was able to put up some better numbers throughout the regular season, that game against Florida would have put him maybe at the top of this Heisman rankings, because Najee, that last game was absolutely unbelievable. It just would have taken a bit more in the regular season. I know seeing some of the Vegas lines, his odds moved way up after that game against Florida, but I still think he needed a bit more in the regular season to get to that point where he's actually leading the Heisman race. So Devonta Smith, he is the first guy I talked about. Let's move on to his quarterback, Mac Jones. Mac Jones this season, obviously being the under guy to Tua Tagovailoa ever since Tua came on the field. But then last year, after Tua got hurt, Mac Jones finished the season for the Crimson Tide. Yes, he did lose the game to Auburn, but he was able to go out and beat Michigan in what I think was the Citrus Bowl or the Camping World Bowl. I'm pretty sure it was the Citrus Bowl. So he had some experience prior coming into the season. I didn't think he'd be as good as Tua. I didn't think he would put up the numbers that he has this season. I knew he was going to be good, but I didn't expect him to be this good, just because I guess we'd been so fortunate to watch such good quarterback play at the Alabama Crimson Tide quarterback position the last couple of years that I didn't expect for the streak to go on. And boy, did it live on, because Mac Jones has been unbelievable this year. 3,739 yards, 32 touchdowns, and only 4 interceptions this season. This guy is one of the best deep ball passers, if not the best deep ball passer in all of college football. Now, many of you are going to have the argument, well, no, he's always constantly throwing to wide open receivers downfield. Yes, but you also have to put the ball in the receiver's hands. Like, yeah, it's easier to throw to them when they're open most of the time, but still, like, they're not always open. It's not like Alabama's receivers are going up against like a youth team or whatever where they're just blowing by everyone. The defenders are still somewhat in the area. Like, you can't just say that they're standing with their arms waving up in the air like, throw me, and like he's got like 50 yards of space down the field. There's still guys on him. So for Mac Jones to be as accurate as he is downfield, yes, he doesn't have the athleticism to be able to scramble as well as other guys you see in the league, but this guy is such a proficient pocket passer, and it's just so much fun to watch him because the way he spins the ball is unbelievable. Mac Jones is putting up a Heisman season, no doubt about it. And the last guy I have to mention, because even though I don't like this team, this might be my least favorite player in all of college football, but I have to put some respect on this name because Trevor Lawrence has been a guy who's been fighting for the Heisman a long time. This is his 3rd year in college, and he's looking like he's going to the NFL draft this year. Maybe not even going to the Jets ever since the Jets decided to beat the Rams, and they might have blown their chance. He might be Jacksonville bound now. But Trevor Lawrence, 2,753 yards this season, 22 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. These stats are a bit lower than the other guys, but you have to remember Trevor Lawrence did suffer from COVID, and he had to take, I'm pretty sure it was 2 weeks off. He missed the BC game, and he missed the Notre Dame game, obviously. So those were 2 games that he obviously lost in the season for his stats. He's still been one of the best players in all of college football for a long time. He's good rushing the ball. He's really good at scrambling. His throws are always on point. Like, there's nothing else I can say about Trevor Lawrence. He's only thrown 4 interceptions. Yes, he'll make some mistakes, but it's the rare time. He threw one against Notre Dame this past weekend in the ACC championship. It was a tip ball, whatever. You're going to make mistakes. Trevor Lawrence is a guy who has been fighting constantly for a Heisman spot, and he finds himself in a position where it's a possibility for him to finally walk away with the Heisman, or at least become a finalist, because I don't even think he's been a finalist the last bunch of years, because you had the year, last year was Burrow, Chase Young, Jalen Hurts, and Tua, and then the year before that was Haskins, Murray, and Tua, I think it was. I think those were the final 3 the year before. So Trevor Lawrence hasn't even made the Heisman finalist. And for a guy who's been the consensus number 1 overall pick for this upcoming draft for a long time, it's really shocking that he hasn't been a finalist. So those are my top 3 guys. Who am I taking? Who am I going to rank in order? Number 3, I'm going to put Trevor Lawrence. I think him missing those 2 games are absolutely huge for his stats because you look at Mac Jones, who's thrown, 34 touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence has thrown 12 less than him. So obviously the advantage is going to go to Mac Jones. Also, Mac Jones has more passing yards by a pretty large margin. So you're not going to give it to Trevor Lawrence. I think those 2 games that he missed really hurt him in terms of being able to go out there and win the Heisman for his stat wise. So Trevor Lawrence, I'm going to put at my 3 spot. I'm going to put Mac Jones at my 2 spot. Amazing quarterback, has the stats and everything. But again, I'm going to stick behind Devonte Smith for the Heisman. I'm going to keep pushing him to be the Heisman because watching him this season, so much fun. This guy's going to make so much money in the NFL. And this guy, I feel like, is the best player in college football right now, stat-wise. Like, obviously, best player in college football, you have it in so many different ways because you could look at it the NFL draft way, like, oh, who's going to go number 1? You have it season-wise, who actually played the best during the season. The Heisman isn't for the guy who's going to go number 1 in the NFL draft. Yes, Heisman Trophy winners do go number 1 in the NFL draft, but it's who was able to remain the most consistent throughout the whole season and has the really impressive stats for the position that they play. And in my opinion, that is Devonte Smith. Put some respect on that name. Put a Heisman Trophy on that name because Devonte Smith, he is an amazing player, and I'd love to see him win the Heisman. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I appreciate it. Like the video down below. Comment down below. Subscribe for more college football content. I got a bunch of college football videos coming up. Thank you for watching, and come back next time.